So, the Day of the Dead, this time of honoring our ancestors. Yesterday was Halloween. So, I just tell you a little tradition in our family. Halloween is such an American thing, right? And I feel like it's this social experiment when all these little kids come to your door to see like what they're like, and, anyway, so when my kids were younger, I didn't want them to have all this candy, right? Because that's just a huge thing. So the tradition that I developed with them, to try to bring a little bit more of this connection to honoring our ancestors and honoring those who have passed before us, we would go out trick or treating, and then we would come home, and they painted this beautiful basket in fall colors, and we would put all the candy in this basket, and we would go outside to the backyard, and we bring lots of candles, and we would bring photos out there of our loved ones who have passed, and we would hold hands with each other and share stories of our loved ones, and sing a song that is a beautiful song, and have this, kind of ceremonial moment of really honoring the veil between the worlds being very thin. And I think we can all feel something in this time of year, that this is true, that there is a sense of death upon the earth, at least in this hemisphere, and that it is a time of contemplation and remembrance. So we would have this moment, and then we would leave the candy under the tree for the ancestors. And then in the morning, the candy would be gone, and there'd be a little gift for them from their ancestors. So kind of, pick two flowers with one hand. I got the candy to go away, and we had this very sacred thing. And now my one daughter is not here, and my other daughter was at a party, and we just had, we're no longer kind of communing in that way, but all day we had the candles lit, and the photos, and this time of remembrance. So I don't know if you have any traditions like that in your family. But it's a special time for me. And this year I lost someone. I lost two people that were close to me. But also, being a hospice nurse, I'm around death and dying a lot. So I wanted to read you um, one of my, probably my favorite book of all time, if I had to say, "To Bless the Space Between Us," by John O'Donohue. If you don't have this book, I highly recommend it. He is an Irish poet and theologian. He was a priest and left the priesthood, and he has a way with words that is just really beautiful. So this book is a book of blessings for all sorts of moments of life, and this one is for lost friends. As twilight makes a rainbow robe from the concealed colors of day, in order for time to stay alive within the dark weight of night, may we lose no one we love from the shelter of our hearts. When we love another heart and allow it to love us, we journey deep below time into that eternal weave where nothing unravels. May we have the grace to see, despite the hurt of rupture, the searing of anger, and the empty disappointment, that whoever we have loved, such love can never quench. Though a door may have been closed between us, may we be able to view our lost friends with eyes wise with calming grace. Forgive them the damage we were left to inherit. Free ourselves from the chains of forlorn resentment. Bring warmth again to where the heart has frozen, in order that beyond the walls of our cherished hurt and chosen distance, we may be able to celebrate the gifts they brought, learn and grow from the pain, and prosper into difference, wishing them the peace where spirit can summon beauty from wounded space. And once again, this is from To Bless the Space Between Us by John O'Donohue. All right, so close your eyes and sit up straight and tall. And take a moment to honor your ancestors. And these could be blood ancestors, and they could be heart, spirit ancestors. It doesn't have to just be somebody from your family. And whether you have lost the closest person in the world to you, or whether your loss has been long time ago or very recent or both, see if you can conjure up in your heart that weave that is never broken, the heart connection that is beyond our human connection. See if you can glimpse this person beyond their humanness, but really to the edge of their heart and soul. You know, what is the essence of this person that you have lost? And what are the echoes that remain? You know, what are the gifts that have been shared between you? What has been bestowed upon you from this person or these people? How do you see their light still very much alive in the world, either through you or through others? And can you travel deep below time to feel the threads that cannot be unwoven? The deep connection. And let's bring our hands together and have a moment of gratitude. Can you feel blessed by these people that you have lost? Can you feel a circle of protection around you? And finally, I'll just say a friend of mine spoke to me of the leaves as we were walking the other day and said that the glory of the fall colors is the truth of the leaves color. That once chlorophyll has been taken away, once the need to receive something has been released, the true colors of the leaves emerge. And can we think about that time that we're in right now where there's death and rebirth in whatever way you believe it to be, that there's truth, that the brilliance of the fall colors represents a truth. Bow into your practice. And then let's release the hands and come to lie down on your back. All right, so as you come supine on your back, you can have your legs straight or bent. You can put your arms wherever you want them. Let's just have a moment to be received by the earth. Can you allow your body to melt down, let go of something? It's the sense of always needing to do and move forward and, kind of always be going. Can we instead retreat back into the being? So feel the back body melt,
All the places you touch, can you melt? And what receives you when you drop down? What receives you? Can you feel the support below you? All right, let's begin to move now. Stretch your arms overhead if that's comfortable, and just start exploring the way you want to stretch. So perhaps stretch one side longer than the other and then switch. Maybe you want to arch your back a little bit. Maybe you want to squeeze your legs or your arms or your face. So just see what is going to wake you up, kind of get you embodied a little bit. And then bring the knees into the chest and rock a little bit from side to side. Kind of swaying. All right, and then let's circle. Let's have this sense of letting the low back and the sacrum find some ease and comfort. And then go circling the other way. If you started one direction, notice if you always start the same swirl, we have habits, patterns. And then open your knees up out to the sides and bring them back home again. So just finding that sense of spreading your legs apart and bring them back in, letting the hip joints get a little awakening, the inner thighs get a little awakening. And then right knee into the chest, give a good squeeze, both of the knee and the hip, and lengthen through your spine. Feel both compression and space. Roll around your ankles and wiggle your toes. Just get alive in your feet, where our feet support us all day long. Let's give them a moment in the sun to really acknowledge all that our feet do for us. Let's change sides. Left knee in, right leg long on the floor. Feel compression, feel extension, and then feel rotation in your ankles, in your toes, in your feet. See if you can sense all the bones. There's so many bones. Feel all the bones in your feet. All right, and then open your body out wide. Spread your limbs. Stretch, wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. Get the edges. Exhale, head up this time, knees in. A couple more times. Expand your body out. Stretch your limbs. Exhale, draw your body in. One more time. Open things out. Exhale. All right, release your head down onto the ground. And let's go ahead and have feet hip width apart or maybe a little bit wider. And let's rock left and right. And just swaying from one side to another. Just opening up the rims of the body. See if you want to add the arms or the head into any movement, maybe stretching the arms or turning the head. All right, and then one more time, starfish out your body. Take a big breath in, hold it for just a moment, and squeeze every muscle you can access in your body. And then release the breath. Bring your knees into your chest. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, pick up your head and squeeze. Squeeze all your breath out. Hold it out. Squeeze your muscles. And then relax your head. Let's roll over onto our side and come up. And feel a sense of ground as you have two hands and your legs on the floor. So feel the earth, feel your yielding. And then when you're ready, start to move your body through some cat-cows. You can arch and round the spine, taking your time to feel your vertebrae move. Don't forget you have a head and a tail, so try to travel all the way through from one side of the spine to the other. And then move any way your body is calling for. One of the beautiful things of being alive is having a body, right? So let's just enjoy your body. See if you can cherish it, this beautiful temple. See if you can find all the love and kindness that you can muster.
instead of the criticism and annoyance. Okay. All right, and then let's stretch back into child's pose. Take your hips back toward the heels. Walk the hands forward to whatever place is comfortable for you. Relax your neck. Soften here. Breathe well. See if you can let the breath travel down the spine all the way to the sacrum. And walk the hands over to the left side of the body. And find that right side body opening into a stretch. Drop some weight into the hips. Relax the base of the skull. And then come back to center and inch your hands over the other way. Settle hips down, relax the skull. And then come back up onto all fours. All right, so feel another bit of swirling in your spine, whatever feels nice. Inhale, reach the right arm up in the air. Exhale and slide that right arm underneath. Open up the back of the rib cage, the shoulder blades, the heart. Let the head relax. Melt toward the floor with your skull. Gaze your eyes downward instead of upward to ease tension in your neck. All right, inhale, reach that arm all the way back to the sky and change sides. Left arm lifting. Exhale, slide that shoulder down. Gaze toward the floor. Shoulders are away from the ears. Take the hips back. Notice the breath. Let it travel in the broadness of your collarbones, shoulder blades, rib cage. Feel all the places expand. All right, inhale, reach that arm all the way back up. Place the hand down onto the ground and find dog pose. All right, so now we're up off the ground. Enjoy it. See if you can feel that pedaling if you want to. You can drop one heel, then the other, bending your knee. Just come into the openness of the body in whatever way feels nice to you. Okay, so extending through the spine. Feel the roots. So ground into your hands and feet and rise up from those places so you feel the rebound in your body. Melt the skull. Let the brain rest down in the hammock of your forehead, of your skull bones. Feel the eyes soften. Feel all the reach of your rib cage right now. You have all this room to breathe into, so let the lungs expand. Let the lungs condense. Full inhales and exhales. All right, walk your feet forward. Come into Uttanasana. Feel free to move around. You can shake your hips, move around in your neck, your shoulders. Breathe. And then halfway lift. Get the spine to grow a little longer here. Exhale and melt again. Push off your feet. Rise up. Find your way upright. And shake out your hands for a moment. Okay, let's reach your right arm down, left arm lifting up and over. Just feel that sense of strength and space in your side body. If you want wider legs, you can take wider legs. Whatever's going to give you a good firm base. Up and over you go. Okay, and then change sides. Find the length of your side body. Relax your neck. Can you stay grounded in your 2 feet? And then come back. Both arms rising up, lean back, so hug the shoulder blades toward each other, elbows wide, and then round in. That sense of cat-cow standing here. All right, rise up with your arms again. This time, grab onto your left wrist with your right hand and have a little teeny bit of a tug. We're not trying to yank at our shoulder joints. Ground through your left foot, and then rise up through the left side of your body, all the way into the left wrist that's being held by your right hand. Feel that sense of whole body length. And then come back to center and change sides. So now grab your right wrist with your left hand. The right foot is grounding down. Feel that from your hip is moving down to the floor, and from your hip is rising up to the hands. So we're not pulling on the shoulder. We're feeling the side of our body awaken. And then cactus one more time. Squeeze the shoulder blades a bit toward each other, and then forearms come to touch. Release the hands down. Just shake out the arms a little bit, all the way to your fingers. Let something go. You can have your feet a little wider for this standing twist we're going to do, and just let your body swing. And you can bend your knees. You can keep your legs more straight. Just let the body open. Are you supported? So, there's some movement in your core here, movement in your rib cage. Let that be free with some support. So feel your stabilizing core. Arms can go anywhere you want. I'm going pretty fast, I feel like, but you can go faster, slower. You can let your arms dangle down like mine are now. You can have them up. All right, and then pause. All right, now bounce a little bit. You do not have to leave the floor. If you feel like jumping, go for it. But just feel a very gentle, kind of rhythmic sloshing inside your body where everything's getting a little jiggle. So good for us to have some jiggling. This is really good for your lymph. All right, now shake out your hands one more time. All right, and then pause here and just feel the aliveness of you. Doesn't take much to help us be more inside of our bodies, to remember that we have this body to care for, to be enmeshed within our mind, our body, our spirit. Ground into your feet, feel the earth support you. Inhale, lift your arms up again. And then exhale and float forward, relax your neck. If you use blocks, you can grab them now. Inhale for a halfway lift. Legs are straight, spine is straight, sit bones wide. Exhale and melt back down. Let's try that one more time. Feel the four corners of your feet ground down. Lengthen your side bodies, thigh bones move back. Exhale and release. Relax your head. Step your left foot back. Come into a lunge. Start moving here. Okay, straightening the front leg a bit, maybe all the way, just depends on your flexibility, and then coming back into that bent knee so that you can open the hip flexors of the back leg. So just going back and forth, feeling your body stretch and move, awaken. All right, so ground your legs into a lunge. Feel your roots, so drop down, feel the support of the earth so that you have your balance, and then rise up. Bring your arms anywhere that serves your body best. Where's the breath? Is your neck relaxed? See if you can feel into the open space of your body. A nice balance of efforting and ease. Feel your feet move into the earth and then rebound through your spine. When you're ready, twist open to the side. So arms can be on the hips, or you can bring them out to the side. You choose what your body needs. Hug into the midline with your inner thighs. Feel the crown lift. Okay, and then reach that hand behind you. Either put it on your hip or on your back leg and stretch up into a little bit more of a pose. Deep into the posture without collapse. And then unwind. Two hands coming up to the sky again, hands down onto the ground, or blocks, back foot coming forward. Fold in half, relax your neck. Inhale for a halfway lift. And then exhale. And melt again. Step your other foot back, come to a lunge. All right, enjoy. We have a different orientation now with your other leg forward. Feel the ground. Start to move as you're ready, straightening the front leg a little bit, bending the front knee. How is your breath? Remember this beautiful breath that you have is such a connecting force. Allow yourself to train your breath to be aware, alive, constantly flowing. Drop weight into the feet. When you're ready, rise up. Maybe putting your arms up overhead is not best for your body. Maybe you're better served with your arms down or your hands together. So find what's giving you the most sense of embodiment, of ease, of capacity to breathe well. And then when you're ready, bring yourself into a twist. Your hands can be on your hips or your hands can be out. You choose. Drop the shoulders. Feel the crown lift like you have a little string lifting. See if you can stay in your lunge. Press into your feet. Feel that front heel ground. Hug to the inner thighs, to the midline. Soften that left shoulder and the left side of your neck. Try not to overstrain. When you're ready, either put your left hand on your hip or your left hand on your right leg and rise up with the with the right arm. Extend a little bit of tricky balance here. Try not to sink into the lumbar spine. Open yourself up. And then exhale. Come out of there, hands down onto the ground, and stretch your body back into dog pose. All right, feel the extension here. Open your body up, inner thighs rolling back. Lots of space for breath. As you come forward into a plank, hug into the midline with your hands. Hug your inner thighs toward the midline. Snug up through your core. Feel that sense of compacted strength. Move your shoulder blades down the back a little bit. Try not to hunker your spine upward. Breathing well. Put your knees down onto the ground and find your way safely to the floor. Roll the shoulders a few times, just wake things up. And then as you're ready, rise up, open chest. Exhale and melt back down. Palms wide, extend into that long spine, stretch your legs. You can even have your elbows onto the floor here to do this pose. Not too much lumbar spine, so feel into the full length of your front body instead of smushing your low back. All right, relax and melt. Put your hands underneath your forehead. Let's find the breath. Pick up your feet and windshield wiper your feet left and right. Put your feet down for a moment. Can you feel the back body breathe? All right. Come up onto all fours. Move the spine around. See if you can feel into some space. And then drop back into child's pose. Let the low back open up and soften here. Breathing well. Okay, come onto your right side for a moment. Okay. Create that slack line, like a little bit of a knife edge that your body is resting upon. Bring your arm up in the air. If you want, you can always put a block underneath your head instead of your arm if that's a little bit more stable or comfortable for you. You decide which way you want to go. Once you have the sense of your arm not helping you, see what you can do to find your core. When you're ready, lift your leg up in the air. See if you can feel a drawstring tighten around your waist. Feel a sense of engagement of your quads. Find your lower body a little bit. Relax your neck. Breathing well here. Okay, release the foot down and lift the arm overhead. And you can put your hand on a block or on a couch like I'm doing. Okay, and then relax and melt and bring your knees back into your chest. Rock around a little bit, swaying from side to side. And we're going to roll right over to the other side and do the same thing. Okay, so knife edge with the body. You can support underneath your head if you need to, differently than just your hand or your arm underneath your head. And then when you're ready, lift your arm in the air. See if you can find everything stacking, shoulder over shoulder, ribs over ribs, hip over hip. And notice, is this side more comfortable, less comfortable? Do you have a sleeping side? Do you tend to like sleeping on one side than the other? When you're ready, lift your leg up in the air. Engage your waist, engage your quads. See if you can feel the center of your body do a lot of work instead of your neck and shoulders. Find that you can still breathe even though your core is engaged. All right, lower the leg and lift the arm overhead, full side body length. And then we're going to switch over to the first side again, one more time. Okay, so here we are. This time you're going to bend your knees. So they can be, not quite at right angles with your hips. They can be a little lower than that or in line with your hips, whatever feels comfortable to you. Lift your top arm. So we're on with either side. I'm not sure which side you guys are on. Whatever it is, the top arm fingertips come onto the crown. We're going to lift our feet and our head and a little bit of our chest up, but our knees and hips are staying on the ground. Release to come back down. So we're lifting our feet and our chest. Head is following and soft, not being yanked, and then release. Try this with the breath. Take a deep breath while you're here. Exhale to lift. Inhale, come back, exhale to lift. Let's do one more. Feel into that deep low back muscle, the quadratus lumborum. Okay, roll over onto your back. Notice the difference between your two sides, that you engage that muscle on the one side, not yet on the other. Let's roll over to the other side. Support underneath your head, bend your knees, top arm, fingertips come to the crown. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, lift your feet and your chest and your head. Inhale to come back down. Exhale to lift your feet, shoulders, head. Inhale to come back down. Exhale to lift. Inhale to come back. Two more. Can you feel that low back? That one side of your low back engaging. One more time. And then relax and roll over onto your back. Bring your knees to your chest. Rock a little bit. Take a deep breath in. All right, and then let's go ahead on our next breath in. Stretch to a starfish. Lengthen out your body. Exhale. Knees into the chest. Let's go ahead and roll over onto our side and come on up. Actually, sorry, I forgot one thing. Roll back down onto your back. One more thing before we get up and do some standing poses. On your back, interlace your fingers behind your head like an old school sit-up. So we're not going to be yanking our head up and coming up. Bend your knees. Feet are flat on the floor, hip width apart. We're going to hover like a little hovercraft. Lift your head, let it rest on your hands. So the lift is in your chest, not in your head. We're not just pulling our head up. Let your head rest. The bottom tips of your shoulder blades are still on the ground. Everything else is a little bit lifted. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, drop your right elbow toward your right hip. Head is supported. Inhale, come back. Exhale, left elbow to left hip, toward left hip. Inhale and come back. So we're going back and forth from one side to the other. Relax your head. Stabilize your knees. Let them sink into your femur bones and into your hips. Ground your legs. Ground your pelvis. Exhale to engage the side body. Inhale to come back. Exhale the other side. Okay, finish on the left and then relax and melt. Release your hands from under your head. Pause here for a moment. Deep breath into the body. Relax, melt. What's receiving you? Feel the support below you like a hand that's holding you, a hug from behind your body. All right, and then relax and roll over onto your side. Now you can come up. Find your way to dog pose. All right, so spread out your hands,
Curl the toes under and lengthen again. Enjoy this posture, the symmetry, the inversion, the 4 points of contact. There's a lot of beautiful things about this posture. All right, let's lift the right leg up in the air and bring that foot through. Come to a lunge and rise up and turn and open up to the side. All right, so relax your arms for a moment. You can just let them rest down, dangle, stretch out through your fingers. Make sure you're touching to the edges of your body. When you're ready, go ahead and find Virabhadrasana 2. Still wiggling your fingers so you feel that you really are reaching into the fullness of your arms instead of all the heaviness being at your shoulders. Drop weight into your feet. Feel the crown rise. Organize yourself. So where is the best place for your hips to be? Maybe your palms want to be up instead of down. Just find your favorite way of being in Virabhadrasana 2. Feel both legs steady themselves. Drop into even weight of your feet. When you're ready, a side body stretch again. Open up through the side rim. Find the breath. And then bend your elbow on your knee. Open up your chest. Don't lift your arm up overhead yet. First, find your legs. Notice if your back hip wants to push way forward. Draw it back. Feel that long line from your heel to your crown. And then stretch your arm into that line. Lengthen through the whole side of your body. Remember the pose we were doing in the beginning when we were just standing and stretching open. Can you find that there's not just one part of your body that's stretching here, but you have a full connection from the toes, the outside of your foot, your heel, all the way through the side body to your fingertips. Where's the missing link? Can you find any place that doesn't have sensation and bring lightness there? Bring breath there. All right, and then go ahead and find your way back. Okay, so come to 2 legs wide for a moment. Just pause here. Notice the difference. Do you have different sensation in one hip versus the other, having done them on one side versus the other? And let's find our way to the second side. Bend your knee. Find your version. First, just shake out your hands. Make sure you're loose in your fingers. So when you come up, you can feel all the way to the fingertips. Imagine, that there's some raindrops that can just travel a little bit down all the way to your fingertips themselves. Relax the shoulders. Stay grounded. Root into your feet. Where's the strength of this pose coming from? Can you feel the earth? What's receiving you? And then pull from that receiving energy. Lift up into your body. Soft shoulders. Maybe your hands want to flip up. Maybe your arms want to be in a different position. Are your hips organized? Can you feel that you're having even weight, even sense of effort on the 2 sides of your pelvis and your 2 legs? Does your sacrum on both sides feel like it's neutral and not being tugged on? When you're ready, lift that arm, find a reverse warrior. Breathe into the side body and then find your way into Parsvokanasana. Start with your hand down so you can first feel the heel to crown stretch. Find that full length. Then ground into even weight of your feet. Allow your arms to swing in front of your face and up over your head if that's where your arm can go. If not, you find a different place. Feel the full stretch. Try not to over arc the side body. Feel evenness so that both sides of your ribs are stretching open. Relax the neck. So as your arm lifts, your shoulder blade will change its shape, but it doesn't mean you need to yank up toward your occiput. You can have some softness there. All right, come back up. Turn feet to the long edge of your mat for a moment. Find your legs balancing each other out where there's evenness between your 2 sides. Deep breaths. Bring your arms up.
Same thing, hands behind the head that we did before. Bring your legs a little bit closer, turn your feet out. You can go into a very deep goddess or a shallow goddess, kind of find a place where you're very self-supporting with an upright posture. So sometimes when we go deeper, we start leaning forward. See if you can go high enough in your goddess where you are able to keep your spine long. Elbows behind you like we did on the floor. Inhale, lift up. Compress one side, open the other. Come back. Exhale to the other side. What's supporting you? Feel your center. Two limbs out. Okay, find your breath. And then four limbs out. Stretch your legs straight. Turn back to the front of your mat. Find dog pose again. Lengthen through your spine. Breathing well here. Come forward. Hold the plank. Find that sense of stability. Okay, let's lower ourselves down. You get to do whatever back bend you want. So maybe you don't lower all the way down. Maybe you just come right up into an up dog. Okay, maybe you come down onto the ground and find cobra or any posture that feels supportive and good. Exhale and release. Come onto all fours. Feel a sense of switching your spine around. Breathing well. Curl the toes under again, dog pose. Left leg lifting high in the air. Exhale, bring your left foot through to a lunge. All right, so climb on up. Walk your back foot forward. Come into Uttanasana again. Okay. And then when you're ready, come to stand. Find your way upright. And then we're going to root into our right foot and come into tree pose. Bring your foot up wherever it wants to go. You can hold on to something if you need some support. Maybe your toes are still touching the floor and your foot is down here. Maybe your foot's on your calf or on your ankle. So go wherever you want to go. Try not to have your heel push into the inner knee. That's a lot of pressure on the inner knee. So hug the two forces of your leg and your foot wherever they're landing toward each other. Lift up through your spine and find your tree. These beautiful, gorgeous trees that we've been graced by beauty the last few weeks here in Denver. I don't know where, Ruth, I'm not sure what the trees are like there in Scotland, but wherever, you are, can you feel the magic of a tree in your body? Don't worry if your balance is off. Relax the base of your skull. And then release. Put your 2 feet on the ground and shake, just like we did in the beginning. You can shake out your hands, you can bounce. Get you even weight between your 2 feet. Pause in Tadasana. Before we come to the second side, have this deep moment of gratitude for having 2 legs, 2 feet to balance us on the floor. Drop some weight into your left leg. Maybe turn your toes out and your toes stay on the floor. So whatever you're doing, try not to lean into your hip like this. We want to keep the stability of those outer hip muscles stabilizing us. Put your foot wherever you want it to be. And sometimes, don't think higher is better. I find that having my foot on my calf is actually a lot more work in my hip than when my foot is up here. So, one is not better than the other. They're all just different positions. So try different things out sometimes, experiment. Make sure your standing knee is not locked out. A little softness. Make sure your hip is not popped out to the side. Bring it on in. Arms go anywhere that supports your balance and breath, your sense of focus, centering. And then relax and place your 2 feet on the ground. And once again, Harness this deep gratitude for the ease of balancing on the earth. Find your breath. All right, a little bit more balance work. So stand into the right foot. We're going to tip open, kind of like when we were on the floor before and we lifted our leg up. Can you feel the outer hip do a lot of the work? See what it feels like to turn your toe forward instead of your toe up toward the sky. Open yourself up. You can always hold on to something if your balance requires help. Shoulders away from the ears. Find your core. Okay, and then come back to center. Have a breath here. Enjoy. Let the evenness of your legs find their way. Root into the other side. So left foot grounding down, right leg stretches open. Open your heart. Spread your wings. Maybe your hands are not high. Maybe your hands are low or on your hips. Whatever you're doing, can you stabilize with the two sides of your pelvis and your core? Turn your toe forward. Make sure your knee you're standing on is not locked out. Okay, and then come back and enjoy coming home to a sense of sharing weight between two legs. Deep breath. Exhale. Inhale, rise up. And then exhale and float. Let your back relax, bend your knees. Halfway lift. Exhale and melt. Let's come back to a plank, last plank. Hold yourself steady. You can put your knees down anytime you want. And then we're gonna find the floor. So I always put my knees down first. Maybe you like chaturanga. I'm not a big fan of chaturanga. Okay, let's take our legs wide on the floor. Take your hands, there's so many different positions. You can have them overhead or out to the side. For today, I'm gonna hover my hands off the floor and pull my elbows down. And then I'm gonna lift my wide legs, lift them up, open the chest, feel those outer hips work. Exhale and melt. Up onto your hands and your knees. Move your hips around, sway from side to side, loosen your back. Child's pose if it feels nice. Deep breaths. All right, let's come up to stand. So bring your feet onto the ground and rise up. Breathing well. Find that balance of the 2 feet onto the floor. Grab a block. We're going to take wide legs. Turn your right foot out. We're going to come into Ardha Chandrasana. Okay, so you can start this pose however you see fit, but you want to make sure your right toes stay pointing to the short edge of your mat. Hop up, bring a block with you to support your hand. If you need to hold on to something, you can do this with your whole back against a wall or your foot against a wall, or like I have a piece of furniture right here I can hold on to with one hand or the other. So you can find support in your house if you need it. And if you're able to do it without holding on, see what Ardha Chandrasana feels like. Stack shoulders, stack ribs, stack hips. Lift that leg in the air instead of letting it fall. Feel the outer hips, feel your core. Find your breath, relax your neck. Soften your knees. So you don't have to have it deeply bent, you can, but just don't want it locked out. Okay, and then giant step back the way you came. And let's turn and do the other side. Left toes are pointing to the short edge of your mat, so they're turned out there. We often will move our foot around to try to adjust something in this pose for better balance. See what you can do to keep your foot planted. And as you're ready, you can use a block under your hand. So, a lot of times people do this with your hand on the floor, but I find a block to be very nourishing. And even if you can't, if the tall block is very wobbly, stack 2 blocks that are wider underneath you if you need a little less wobble for underneath your hand. So there's always ways to support yourself. You can hold on to something. You can put your hand on your hip or lift it in the air. Make sure the knee you're standing on is not locked out. You want to have a little micro bend. Try to stack your shoulders, your ribs. It doesn't matter if you get there. That's just the direction we're moving in. Lift the leg, press into your foot. See if you can reach the crown and the foot away from each other. Side waist is engaged, so try not to let your belly fall. We're engaging through the torso. Big giant step back to come out of the pose. Stand in Tadasana. Grounding into this deep sense of the earth. Here we are in our bodies. Let's be thankful that we have this body to carry us around. Rise up. Bend your knees. Float. And we're going to come down into child's pose. So take your knees wide and find your way down. So be humble. Maybe your head wants to rest on a block. Maybe your arms want to be overhead. Maybe your arms want to be back. So find the pathway that is best serving your body right now. Sway your hips from side to side. Let your forehead sway from side to side. Breathe into the full line of the back body from your crown, down your neck, through your spine, all the way to your sacrum. Enjoy the compression in your hips, your knees. Feel that blood flow kind of compress, lymph flow compress. All right, then we're going to come on out of that posture and come onto our back. All right, lift up your hips, scooch them to the right, bring your knees up and drop them left. Our simple twist that we almost always do toward the end of class. Such a gentle twisting posture. If you need support underneath your shins with a block, you can do that. Turn your head if it feels nice. Listen to the breath, feel into your breath. Okay, bring your knees back up, scoot your hips over to the other side, knees coming up and over. One of the greatest ways we can honor our ancestors is to honor the gift of being alive. And that means taking care of your body, honoring the breath. When you sense your breath, can you honor this beautiful life force? Can you honor the days, each precious day? What does today hold? Can you offer your gifts to the world? These are the ways we can honor those who have passed before us, is to not waste our days, to not waste the preciousness of our body, of our capacity to be in the world, to touch others, to be touched by others. Come back up. Okay. All right, so either cross thigh over thigh or reverse pigeon, whichever, feels nourishing to your body. That's the last pose we're going to do before Shabbat. Well, maybe we might do a happy baby pose after this. So just notice if this isn't what your body's asking for, if there's some other pose that's deeply calling to you, then forego this and go there. Okay, so listen to the body. Change sides when you're ready. Are you relaxed? Is there something at ease? Start to, fall towards Shavasana with your energy. You want to find the deep ease and rest.
sense of letting go. Maybe it's just your head dropping its full weight. Unwind that starfish open. And then if it feels pleasant to you, a happy baby pose before we lay down. You can pull on your feet or hold behind your knees. You can rock or be still. And then as you lie down for Shavasana, do you need support besides the support of the floor? Do you need a bolster or a pillow, or do you need something over you for warmth? What is it that your body's calling for to be very relaxed, supported? So as we come into this sense of honoring those that have gone before us, can you feel the preciousness of your life force? As you rest, as you feel a sense of ease in your body, can you just have a moment of gratitude for this next breath that's coming with such ease? For the beauty and the capacity of enjoying your senses. For the health of our bodies, for the health, deep gratitude for the health of our minds. Let yourself rest. Notice that little pause at the end of your exhale, that quiet place. Reflect there just for a moment. And then enjoy the breath as it comes.
Let's begin to deepen our breathing again. Feel the earth support you. Feel your breath support you. Find your way into movement that supports you. Let's find our way onto our side. Very slowly, with breath, come up to a comfortable seat. Let's have a moment once again to have this deep sense of gratitude for the gifts that we have been given by those that have touched our lives, that have passed. Namaste.
Namaste, Jenny. Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day.